All right, guys, we are here. We are actually here with Ferrets. Hey, Ferrets, how are you, buddy?
Tired.
Tired, tired, a little bit wet. He's a wet ferret. Um,
I'm actually not wet. So
I meant the fact it's been raining.
yeah, that's
Hmm,
what I mean.
yeah, but okay. Anyway, moving along. But guys, yeah, basically what's happening is we're just having a conversation about Star Citizen when we think it's going to come out, and basically the minimal viable product and stuff like that. And I turned around, I said to Ferris when we first started this conversation, why don't we just record this and upload this to YouTube, and maybe you guys will tune in and see what you guys think. But let's jump straight into it. Do you want to repeat what you said before, or is that like ours eyes only sort of thing?
No, no, no. So basically, from the sources that I've been like hearing,
Mm-hmm.
uh, we could be seeing Squadron 42 maybe by the end of 2022.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, because some of my sources are saying that CIG will be finishing up the remaining attack and the other things that they need for Squadron 42. Those should be finished up by the end of this year, and then they would have a most of a next year to basically run this through the in eternal beta system, and he says that he's expecting maybe a 2022 a launch. It's possible.
Mm-hmm. So this is something, and well, obviously we'll get to the persistent universe after, guys. So at the moment we're just going to talk about Squadron 42. Then we'll talk about our idea for the persistent universe. Keep in mind
And then
everything.
after,
Sorry,
I'm sorry.
I was going to say, just keep in mind everything that we're discussing here. It's all theory crafting. Okay, we do not know anything that the wider public doesn't. Well, we got a couple of sources and stuff like that, but we are guessing. This is our ideas. This is not set in stone. So please, no one sit there and start taking time off work for 2 years thinking that Squadron 42 is definitely going to be coming out. Then it's theory crafting. It's what this channel does a lot
Right,
of. Right, just getting that out there, right? Um,
right.
this is what I've.
And also,
Sorry. Yep.
God damn it.
No, sorry.
I'm sorry. Then also later I have something involving the Polaris.
Okay,
So
cool. So as for Star Citizen, it really does depend on what they define as the viable minimal product. So if they go through, for example, and they turn around and they put out 3-star systems, refueling, medical gameplay, mining, repair, salvage, just the basic sort of minimum viable product, which I think would be more than enough for most of us, at least for the short term anyway. Then at the end of the day, I think the 2 years is a very reasonable goal for Squadron 42. Sorry, I'm getting myself mixed up here. For Squadron 42, I think that's very reasonable because at the end of the day, that would give them the end of the year to build all the tech, which is mostly done push pull stuff like that, and then it
uh
gives them a year to do bug fixing, spit, polish, stuff like that. So at the end of the day, I would say that is, to me, I would expect something at this year's CitizenCon or next year's CitizenCon, which is why I think this year's was supposed to be at LA. I would see some sort of trailer or some sort of vertical slice, maybe an updated version of the vertical slice that we saw that went for about an hour a couple of years ago. Maybe an updated version of that or something, maybe. And they'll be sort of like doing side by side comparisons to show what the difference is and stuff like that. But yeah, I think this is a very reasonable goal because from everything that we're seeing now, they are just literally just hammering through Squadron 42. Now, I would expect it most likely to happen October, the year after this year. I don't think it's going to be a December thing. I think it's going to be a October, September, October launch because that's when most games do their launches. So I think they're going to try and push for that instead. But yeah, I think towards the end of next year is more than definitely what Star Citizen is going to be aiming for Squadron 42. But like I say, it does also depend on what they put out too. If it's just Ninx, Pyro, Statin system, refuel, repair, salvage, mining, stuff like that, then yeah, that's those sort of mechanics in Squadron 42, then we got most of that already. Obviously we see that on the roadmap for the PU, and if it's on the PU, then it's on the roadmap for Squadron 42. So I'm presuming there's some mission where you need to do a refuel or something. So at the end of the day, yeah, I would say it's a very reasonable target. But what are your thoughts?
I think it's a realistic timeline, and it would be a fantastic if they could actually pull this off and have it actually deliver in 2022.
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, look, obviously, like I say, guys, it's theory crafting. I just want to keep reiterating that. But at the end of the day, I would say it is very realistic. Very, very realistic.
Yeah.
Yeah. There doesn't seem to be from the. And you also got to remember too, people are going to be like, "Oh my god, how are you going to release Squadron 42 when the AI doesn't even work half the time?" You got to remember the reason the AI doesn't work half the time is because of server meshing. Now we suspect that stupid dad just kicked in. We suspect that server meshing is likely to be coming in towards the start of next year. Item cache is likely to be coming in this probably next major patch. So 3.14, maybe 3.15, we'll start to see the start of it, which is why we're getting things like the Gladius to have their actual components in the ship. As you see, the Gladius is very much gold standard. And at the end of the day, that's the sort of start of item cache. And we also noticed too lately there's been a lot of back end problems with the VMAs and stuff like that. That to me is sort of like a little bit of an alarm bell saying, hey, Star Citizen's doing something on the back ends when it comes to item cache. Because VMAs and all that sort of stuff is all tied into it. But yeah, look, at the end of the day, you got to remember too, the Squadron 42, it's only going to be like 2 or 3 people on a server. You don't have 50 players. I jumped on an Australian server the other day and there was 9 people or 8 or 9 people. I think actually you jumped on there with me. And the server was buttery smooth. It was insanely good. The AI were really good. The AI killed me a few times. There was no junkiness. It was smooth as silk. Now, that's with 9 people on there. So imagine what it's going to be like with 4. And that's what basically Squadron 42 is. It spins up its own persistent universe on your machine, and at the end of the day, you're virtually playing in your own universe. So, obviously your friends and stuff should be able to join you and stuff, but you're not going to have more than 4 or 5 people playing. So, the server should be really good.
Oh, yeah.
Apart from that, is there anything else we need to talk about for Squadron 42, or should we just jump on straight onto the PU side of things?
Squadron 42, no, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we just gave our own theory, so...
Alright, so, PU, Persistent Universe. What did your friends say about the Persistent Universe? And then I have a little bit of a pushback on this one. So, yeah.
Well, this one is, I mean, since it's so far out, it's a bit hard to really put a solid time on that one, but they were saying that it's possible to see a release of the PU by 2025. December 2025. So like I said, that's like almost most of the 4 years out.
Yeah,
That's a long time to really make anything
concrete.
as inaccurate as a prediction like this.
Yeah, and this is where I
Right.
have a little bit of a pushback. I think the 4 year out is a bit far. If we go through, like we've already got salvage, they're working on salvage, they're working on repair, they're working on refuel. We're getting medical gameplay because they're doing hospitals and stuff soon. If we start getting, and this is where it obviously ties into a bit to Squadron 42, um, with Squadron 42, obviously we're going to need more than just, we know there's only 3 or 4 systems used in Squadron 42. If they go through and only give us 3 or 4 systems for the PU as well, say Stanton, Nynx, and Pyro, plus we have medical gameplay, repair, refuel, salvage, mining, cargo running, item cache, server meshing, I would say it's probably more likely to be happening. Look, if they really crammed it, they could probably get it done by the end of next year. But I would say realistically, it's more likely happening the year after that. For a viable minimum product, I would say you're probably looking at Squadron 42 coming out in 2022, and then probably Star Citizen in 2023. So I think your friend's time frame is out by a little bit on that one. But you also got to remember too, once Squadron 42 gets towards the end, they're going to start having a lot of devs free up. You know, the people who are working on Squadron 42 aren't necessarily going to be working on anything, so Chris most likely will just be getting them straight to jump on the stage onto the persistent universe, so things should move a lot faster than they already do. I think it's around 60% of CIG at the moment is working on Squadron 42, so it is the majority. So if they start going through and, sort of getting those guys to funnel over towards the persistent universe, things should move a lot faster. What do you think about that? Do you think that's realistic, or do you think I'm a little bit ambitious?
I give it realistically, I give it 2-3 years at the most.
From now, or from when Squadron 42 comes out?
From on now.
So if Squadron 42 comes out, say 18 months from now, right? Then you would think maybe a year after that, maybe for Persistent Universe.
Maybe.
6 months to a year after that, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
It really does depend on. Well, we can have a look at the roadmap, which, by the way, guys, has obviously been updated tomorrow, so we'll be able to go through and we'll do a video for that. But if you go through and look at the roadmap, you can see what they're sort of doing over the next 12 months. So right, so here's the roadmap. Release view, got it. Right, so I'll minimize that. We'll expand all categories. So we're up to 316 on the roadmap. That's got things like player slide, prone, actor feature, ladders, physicalized weapon handling, fire extinguishers, lockers and inventories. So that's item cache still. Ship emitters, fire extinguishers, dynamic door alignment, weapon misfire, and arson part 2. So there's nothing really major in there for that. There's no real gameplay. 315 is small home outposts, weapon stripping mag, cutting tool, player interactive experiences, bombs and space mines, salvage, tech 0, object push and pull, redeemer, Hercules, Ion and Inferno, and ship and stereo culling, and then 314 FPS scanning, horizon landing zone, weapon change drill tech 0, personal inventory for active feature, so that's item cache as well, healing tech 0. So we got tech 0 for healing in 314, and we got salvage in 315. So yeah, like I say, yeah, it might be towards the end of next year if they could really get it done, or maybe the year after. Yeah, I think we're both about on the same sort of time frame. But hey guys, let us know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Before we go, is there anything else, Ference, that you're thinking of, or anything else?
The Polaris.
Yes. Okay. What do you have for the Polaris?
So, my friend said that we probably shouldn't be expecting the Polaris anytime soon.
Oh, okay. Did you elaborate on that, or not get into it, or?
He said because there is a lot of mechanics or some there's a lot of things that are required for
Right.
the players that haven't even begun production yet, and he said
Gameplay
that those
loops.
will. Well, no, not even gameplay loops. Just like things specifically for
Mm.
the Polaris,
Mm.
and he said that those won't be those won't be those won't be uh just trying to think. Those won't start the production until the first or the second quarter of next year.
Mm. So you're thinking that maybe the Polaris will come out towards the end of next year?
Maybe the end of next year,
Mm.
or maybe the first quarter of the year after that, maybe?
Mm. It does really does depend on what sort of game mechanics are needed for the Polaris. As far as I know, the well, we know space bombs and stuff are coming in 314 or 315. 315. So we know it's not that. Is there sort of drones or something that are in the Polaris? Maybe what's in the Polaris that would?
What I think it is it's the internal loading system of the torpedoes.
Hmm.
There is
So
that.
so it has radars, computers, power plants, shield generators. So nothing major there. Torpedo bays capable of firing 4 capital ship killer torpedoes simultaneously, and holding a stockpile of 24 in total.
I mean,
So could be that.
as far as what is special about it, I mean, I'm not for sure if there is anything specifically special.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know what he means by things that are like game mechanics that are required for it. I'm looking at photos of it now, and obviously they're up on the screen. But don't get me wrong, she looks a bit like a beautiful ship. But I can't really see anything here that would. Yeah, that would really. Oh, there's a pool table. Maybe it's the pool table. It's got missile pods,
Wouldn't surprise me.
top turrets, side turrets, Main thrusters, heat extractors, top turret, nose turret. She's got a lot of turrets on her. So it does have this torpedo thing that you're talking about.
At the internal torpedo radiate loading system.
Could be that. Yeah, it definitely could be the torpedo system. Might be that. But if it's only one thing, I can't imagine them taking more than 6 months or 3 months to do it.
Well, he said that there were like several. So.
Yeah, and this is stuff that I'm not seeing in this image here. Right, it could be multi-crew too. You could be talking about the multi-crew feature. So maybe they plan to do more with multi-crew than.
Also remember, they plan on, they also plan on doing a rework of the missile operator system.
Yeah, it could be that. Yeah. Could be the
but as far as I know, that's all come. As far as I know, that's all coming out though. This year, right? Yeah, it should be in 3.14.
So, shield replacement tech, vehicles module swapping, vehicles to XML data core, Grey Cat multi-tool, Cure Life, Taurus, NPC healing, lost system surrender, missile operator mode. Yep,
3.14. What that does, it lets us basically fire the missiles. So you could actually perform bombing runs with the torpedoes.
They'll come in handy when you're doing.
Kind of cool.
Yeah, they'll come in handy when you're going through and doing things like, for example, you're doing bunker missions and stuff. Because at the moment, those turrets, they really do take a lot of gunfire to bring them down. Which I'm not complaining about. They should. But if you could fire missiles at them and stuff like that, then it'd be a lot easier.
Either that, or you could just use them for a good old-fashioned shenanigans.
Shenanigans.
Exactly.
Alright, apart from that, is there anything else we need to talk about, or?
No, I don't think so.
No worries, guys. Alright, apart from that, let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below about anything that we've talked about today. So obviously PU, obviously with SQ42, and also the Polaris. I'm going to say Polaris probably is most likely going to be happening mid next year, I would say. I'm just going to say mid next year. That's my gut feeling.
I say late next year, maybe.
Late next year? Mid this year?
Maybe longer.
Alright, we'll see who's right after all eventually. Friendly bet. But apart from that, guys, let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. Obviously, guys, Ferrets has a YouTube channel. He is putting up a video tomorrow, I believe.
Hopefully.
I'm going to hold him to it. I'll put a link to his video in the channel to the description below, so please go and fill and give him a subscribe. Also, guys, he does stream on Twitch occasionally, I suppose medically.
I'm trying to make it a bit more regular now.
And obviously, guys, at the end of the day, I obviously film or stream on this YouTube channel. I've pretty much given up on streaming on Twitch because it's just, I think it's just easier if I just put them up on YouTube. But let us know what your thoughts are in that comment section below. And apart from that, guys, we will see you tomorrow. He's going to make a video on the roadmap. I'm going to make a video on the roadmap. So
we all make videos on the roadmap.
You get a roadmap on the video. You get a roadmap video, and everybody gets a roadmap video. Apart from that,
Click
guys,
on your seats. You get a roadmap video.
Apart from that, guys, have a great night. Enjoy yourself, and we'll see you tomorrow. Say bye.
Roadmap video. I mean, bye. Sorry.